I hope you guys have been enjoying your summers.
Reggie, we've been fantastic. And, I said I'm a fan of just following your IG and the kids, so I can tell you've had a fantastic summer. Congrats.
Thank you, brother.
Reggie, I've got to ask you about opening night because we've got the new-look Celtics, LeBron James and perhaps the Kyrie-less Cavaliers. Then we've got ring night in the Bay. They're taking on James Harden, now Chris Paul and the Rockets. It's impossible, I think, to sum up what that night will mean for this league. But could you tell me exactly where your eyes will be on which storyline opening night?
Well, look, this has to be arguably the best opening night, personally, that I've probably been associated with being with Turner because, the four teams you mentioned, because of the turnover this summer, you've got Gordon Hayward, leaving Utah, joining Isaiah Thomas, his former college coach Brad Stevens in Boston. You mentioned LeBron James. Will Kyrie be on the opening roster for Cleveland? These were the two best teams, obviously, in the Eastern Conference. And then out west, look, anytime you get your rings, it's a special occasion. This super team that has formed out in Golden State, they are built long term, so that's special. But to me, all the eyes are going to be on the Houston Rockets because you add Chris Paul along with James Harden, and Smitty, you know this, as fantastic as James Harden was last year, both of those players are ball dominant.
Right.
So how is this dynamic going to work out with two of the most gifted passers in our game? What better guy at the helm than the coach of the year in Mike D'Antoni to sort this all out? So what a great opening night for us at Turner.
Yeah, Reggie, you're so right. And everything you talked about, the new faces and new places, I just want to add, we do drama here, Reggie. So,
oh yeah,
what do you think about if Kyrie is not moved and Carmelo Anthony is not moved? What happens in Cleveland, New York?
Well, if you're the Cleveland Cavaliers, if Kyrie is not moved, they're still the team to beat. And I've always felt that. Anytime you have a healthy LeBron James, you've got to go through the Cavaliers and you've got to go through LeBron James. And, I've been hearing all this about Kyrie wanting to be the man somewhere else, and I really don't think that because when you get a chance to talk to him and you've listened to some of the comments coming out of his mouth in interviews, I don't think he ever wants to be the man. I personally don't think he wants to be tied to whatever LeBron James is going to do next year because it's not guaranteed that LeBron is going to re-sign with the Cavaliers next year. There's talk about him possibly coming out here to the Lakers, possibly to the Clippers. And we saw how this ended up before with the decision and when he went to South Beach and won 2 titles. Well, remember, Kyrie was with the Cavaliers, and they were dead last, if I remember right. So I think Kyrie doesn't want to be tied to whatever LeBron James is thinking in a year from now. So he's trying to kind of scratch out his own territory and possibly be moved now. I don't think it has anything to do with I want to be the man and I want to run my own team because if you look at the teams that he listed, Minnesota, they're built to win now, with now adding Jimmy Butler and Wiggins. And he mentioned San Antonio. Well, they got Kawhi Leonard, Greg Popovich in that system. And even he mentioned Miami Heat, an up-and-coming team. We know what the Heat did during the second half of the year last year. So it's not that he wants to go somewhere and be the man. I really just don't think he wants to be tied to whatever LeBron's going to be thinking in a year from now.
Reggie, those guys, roster changes aside, will face their finals foe, the Golden State Warriors, on Christmas Day. Looking at the schedule here, as an LA local, are you going to be working now on Christmas Day? Have you heard anything
I better be working that Minnesota Laker game. I mean, I believe I'm the only talent that's out here on the West Coast in California. So
save on a flight.
Right. I'm going to be working while y'all are at home eating that big old nice turkey and ham. Yes, probably Reggie will be working that game, and I'll open up presents with the kids in the morning and then head down to the Ritz-Carlton. We'll do our breakfast meeting, and then it's game time. Hey, basketball never sleeps. You know this. Kristen. Come on now.
That's fair. You could at least, though, sleep in late L.A. morning, Christmas Day, and then head on down to the arena. But is the Cleveland-Golden State matchup, of course, will be the most the most anticipated matchup that day. But what else are you looking forward to?
Well, it's interesting because when you mention that matchup, we all hope that Kyrie's on the floor with LeBron James and Kevin Love and Tristan Thompson. But that might not be the case. When you think of Christmas Day games, I can only speak for myself. And Smitty, I'm sure you played on Christmas Day. It is an honor for the country to be at home, opening presents, having dinner, turning on a TV set, getting a chance to watch you perform. So to have all these teams between the Boston, the Philly, and the Knicks, it's a chore to have and play on Christmas Day. So yes, I'll probably be working that last game, but in between opening presents with the kids, I'll be a fan and watching these guys play.
Reggie, let's stick with the Golden State Warriors. We're showing some of their highlights. And in the offseason, we know you talked about Steph and KD. Will they be able to retain those two? And the answer was yes. But then the Iguodala, Zaza, David West, Sean Livingston, and they were still to be able to retain those guys. Then for me, Reggie, they go out and still add Nick Young. They have Jordan Bell, who I love watching him play in college. And a sneaky pick for me that they added was Caspi. Talk to me what you think, how the Golden State Warriors will do this year with all these new additions.
Again, I will say this. They are built for the long term. And as much as people want to bash KD and for his decision to leave OKC and join a 73-win team, how about the big plus by taking less money that allowed Bob Myers and the brass to retain Andre Iguodala and those guys? So he took less money to keep that roster intact. And you're right about Jordan Bell. We were privileged to watch Oregon throughout that run during the tournament. This is a guy defensively at 6'8", 6'9", fits perfect into that system because it's all about the defense. Everyone talks about the high-octane offense, but defensively with Draymond Green and these undersized guys, you could play small ball and be so successful. So you add shooters on the wing like Swaggy. They're built for the long term, and they're hungry. Now that KD's tasted what a championship ring is all about and finals MVP, he's hungry. And that's why you see all these other – they made the whole league react by winning the championship and bringing KD. Now you're going to see all these super teams start to pop up. Chris Paul to Houston, Jimmy Butler going to Minnesota, Gordon Hayward along with Isaiah Thomas. You need 2, 3, possibly 4 All-Stars to compete with the world champs.
Reggie, all he was really asking is whether or not Swaggy P is the key to a dynasty in the Bay.
Oh, how funny is Swaggy P going to be with this kind of attention on you every single game? I mean, it's going to be fun to watch.
It'll be fun to be there. All right, Reg, we'll talk to you soon.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.